Dubai Chess Olympiad, 1986. Kasparov walks into the auditorium, ready to face a Czech Grandmaster, Jan Smejkal. As you know, that's the third episode of Kasparov's Ruy Lopez series. Let's set up the position. Don't forget to check my Lichess study at the end of the video to study the game by yourself and to check yourself with a quiz. So they played the Morphy variation. Kasparov rejected the exchange, and Jan played the main theory move. White castles, bishop e7 preparing to castle, and finally rook e1 supports the pawn on e4. b5 pushes the bishop away, and d6 liberates the light square bishop. c3 is a nice move, setting the powerful bishop pair. Black castles, and white plays h3, a prophylactic move preventing the pin. Black plays queenside fianchetto, and white prepared a pawn break at the center. Rook e1 denies the exchange and creates a symmetry among the major pieces. Knight d2 is a classic one for Kasparov, aiming f1 and g3. Bishop retreats, strengthening e5, and probably preparing a kingside fianchetto. Kasparov tries to open the A file. Black plays the unconventional move, queen to d7, instead of the famous h6, which leads to an equally interesting line that Kasparov usually played against Karpov. That's basically called floor system, and Jan avoided, as it was one of Kasparov's strongest opening choices. Back to our position. Kasparov takes on b5 instead of pushing the d-pawn, which is a more straightforward move. Jan obviously recaptures, so Kasparov takes the rook. There are two ways to recapture. He took it with the bishop, but why taking it with the rook is completely wrong. This move gives white a powerful sequence of moves, starting with knight g5, attacking f7. Black supports with a knight. Even though there are more defenders and everything seems okay for black, white has the great move. Knight from d2 to f3. This move, except for creating a powerful knight combination, it opens a second threat and strikes into the attack. Black may have a counterattack plan like this one, but after the exchanges, white has a huge advantage. Knight takes f7, great move. After the recapture and the exceptional bishop e6, black can barely move. You can explore this continuation by yourself at the end of the video. Back to our position. Kasparov pushes the d-pawn, and now that's where it becomes really interesting. Jan has many choices, but he looked for something rare. He moves the knight back to b8, novelty. He is the first chess player to play this move. The goal was to surprise Kasparov and to take him out of his repertoire. Jan knew that knight d8 and a5 were already played by Karpov against Kasparov, so Kasparov knew how to tackle them. He had also tried knight e7 against Popovich and lost, so he had to try b8. Kasparov played the classic move knight f1. It's worth mentioning here that c4 is also a good move you can explore. Knight a6 is a clever move that prepares c5. Black develops an attacking initiative from a queenside. Kasparov pins the knight and black must support it, otherwise the king will get exposed. Kasparov brings another knight to the attack. Jan inaccurately plays g6. It's really strange as he folds his pawns without being necessary. h6 is the best move here, by the way. That's how black missed the chance to take back white's advantage and make the game completely equal. Queen d2 creates a strong battery with the bishop. Bishop b7 leaves some space for the rook. Observe the position. White has most of the major and minor pieces towards the king side, while black turns his pieces towards the queen side as a counterattack. White changes sides, as it's too early to attack and too foolish to leave his side unprotected. Black plays symmetrically. Kasparov realized that this knight may become a dangerous octopus knight, so he places his bishop in opposition with it. A quite interesting strategy here for black is to open the C file. c6 is the most immediate way to do so. Take into account that an equally good move is c5, which leads to the same position when the opponent accepts the end passant. Kasparov takes because he likes open positions. Takes back with the bishop. Rook d1 creates a battery. The goal is to make new threats and possibly exchange queens a few moves later. Black plays symmetrically, but he misses the great move queen e6 that could provoke problems to White's defense at the diagonal. White got a great move instead. Queen e3, which allows Kasparov to take the pawn on e5 with the knight pinning the black queen. Jan continues with the inaccurate response queen b7, attacking a strongly supported pawn. You can explore how Jan could have continued in the Lichess study. Can you find what Kasparov played here by yourself? Pause the video if necessary, as I'm going to show you right now. Bishop h6, restricting the king at the corner. The importance of this move is pivotal, as it is where Kasparov's winning combination begins. So the purpose of the riddle was to realize the attacking plan by yourself. Knight c7 is an interesting response, blocking many important squares, but allowing this exceptional knight sacrifice. If black takes the knight, he loses 2 moves later. You will tell us how by completing the quiz of the study. Of course, black didn't take it, but after this move, White gained a significant advantage. Let's see the continuation. Jan brings the knight for safety. Now the previous trick doesn't work, so Kasparov takes the bishop with the knight. Jan obviously takes to block the check. The game continues with the aggressive move, knight g5, offering a trade of knights. The opponent should not take it because the other knight will be pinned and White will have a significant advantage. Jan avoided the mistake and moves his knight to c5, creating new threats at the center. Suppose you were Kasparov, what would you do in this position to maintain your dominance? Your first thought would be that even though e4 is supported, this knight must go away. So Kasparov played b4 and the knight retreated to a4. Now pause the video to find the game-changing move. Bishop b3, pinning the pawn to the king and preparing a fatal attack. Black supports with the bishop, the only good move. Kasparov plays another great move, which liberates the rook from the first rank. Jan continues his attack with rook c8. Kasparov obviously supports with the rook. That's the only good response. Knight d7 pretends to connect the knights while exposing the white minor pieces. That's why the knight goes back. Jan connects his knights, and now he has a powerful combination on the queen side. Kasparov counterattacks, threatening the queen. Jan creates a battery on the c-file, but this move is inaccurate, as he can't take with the queen, neither with the knight. Knight d2. That move prepares a pawn push on c4. Notice that even though black has one more attacker, he can't take the pawn. So he plays a neutral move, king g7. That's how white wins a tempo, to push the pawn and face the danger efficiently. Pawn to h5 follows, which doesn't affect anything on the board. Kasparov cleverly takes on b5, giving a threat to the queen. The queen simply goes to d7. Now the light square bishop is blocked. After queen f3, the black king is in danger. Rook takes rook. Bishop recaptures, and black is hopeless. King retreats, and now Kasparov places his bishop in b3 to make sure that the king will not escape. Queen takes on b5, a move that just prolongs the already lost game. Because now after queen f6, the game is lost. Black resigns. Now it's your turn. In the description of the video, there is the link of the Lichess study. You can take a quiz about the game in a fun way with your virtual octopus coach. Another good idea is to study the game by yourself. You may discover more continuations that we didn't cover in the video, even contribute to the study with your comments. Because the true purpose of the video wasn't just to give you answers about the game, but to make you wonder about the importance of each move and to give you motivation to discover things by yourself.